with Realtor Nagaraj Annaya every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Hello, welcome to the show where we break down the secrets of successful real estate. I'm Nagaraj Annaya, Bay Area Realtor, and today I'm joined by the expert Naresh from NT Bay Area. Hello, Naresh, welcome to the show.
Hi Nagraj, how are you?
I'm doing really good, Naresh Garu. Happy Sunday to everybody. We are revealing a strategy that could turn your 50,000 investment into a property worth over 250K. Plus, we'll cover why buyers are snatching up the remodeled homes faster than ever before. Ready to up your real estate game? Let's dive in. And remember, if you have any questions about the real estate or a remodeling, give us a call at 408 912 5038 and we are here to help. Hello, Naresh Garu. Let's talk
Hello.
about one very important, right? How do you, like somebody's planning to sell their house,
Mm-hmm.
that they have a
Yes.
50,000 budget, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to remodel it and make the house to sell it for a greater price. The reason I'm asking you, right, like recently one in Berryasa was listed for 1.25, just listed for 1.25 million, and I know that they just put a 50,000 into that house, 50,000
Mm-hmm.
into it, and we put an offer for 1.5, but realtor told me, no, Nagraj, this house needs 1.8 million for sure, and it was sold for more than 1.8 million. So the question to you is, Naresh, how can we, what all the things we can do for 50,000 so that we can up the value of the home price? Listeners, if you have any questions and would like to share anything on the Bay Area real estate, right, or anything on the remodeling, you can give us a call. And today I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area. Naresh, please go ahead.
Yes, yes. So basically, you can do small things, everything that pops up, when you do remodeling, right? For example, painting, like changing floors, okay? Changing the cabinetry color, okay? So all those ones, small things, but it will give a big impact, when you see, you know. So that one I can definitely say. So a lot of my customers, before they're selling the house, so they ask me to do some painting, some small repairs, flooring, cabinetry, kitchen remodel. Especially they do look for kitchen and bathrooms. Okay. So if you do those things, right, so it will be more elegant and there will be definitely high potential to sell for more price. That is 100%. That's what my experience says.
See, let's put it into it, right? Like, for example, the cabinets, right? Like maybe a cabinet's paint, okay, the old cabinet's paint, and countertop change, maybe a countertop change depending on is it an older countertop or not a countertop, like what kind of countertop it is, right? If it's a quartz, maybe it's not a quartz, maybe a tile based or something older than that. Maybe we can, instead of maybe a changing to full countertops depending on the length and the breadth or the depending on the kitchen size, it might cost us some X amount, right? So, like for example, recently we did a one in a countertop change. It costed us 7 to 10,000, depending on the kitchen size. That was maybe a 10,000 full house painting, correct?
Yes.
And maybe refacing of the bathrooms really matters, right? Maybe like maybe bright up the bathrooms, reface instead of completely changing the tiles, changing the this thing, right? That also matters for us. What else do you think?
Yes, definitely. Definitely. A lot of calls I'm getting right now is for remodeling bathrooms, remodeling kitchens, and then minor upgrades in the other parts of the rooms, other parts of the house, like flooring changes, painting. That's what it needs, in order to put some less investment before you sell the house. Definitely.
Listeners,
Yeah.
yeah. Listeners, you're listening to Nagaraj Annaya, the Bay Area Realtor. I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area. This show is all about you. And if you have any questions on the real estate or a remodeling, give us a call at 408 912 5038. And we are discussing about how we can basically put in a 50,000 investment into property and we can make it a worth of more than a 250,000. Again, it depends on the location to location. Location matters. Don't think all the houses we put 50,000, we will do 50,000. Okay, it's a
And
kind of
also contractor matters too, who you are
that
going with.
that also matters, right? How do you make that changes and what kind of changes you make it, right? Like that is very, very important. Naresh recently helped one of my client to add a second bathroom. Like my client had bought it for a very good price in Santa Clara, but it was a 3 bed and 1 bath, and they wanted a second bath very badly. Okay, and I think he was able to help them out to get add the second bathroom for less than a 30,000.
Yes, yes. So that one, yes, I remember him. So he's from Santa Clara. So basically, very nice person, very good to work with him. So he really want to have a second bathroom, but there is very difficult situation because he doesn't have a crawl space. Everything is concrete slab. Honestly, Nagaraj, that's one of the difficult job, in terms of more in labor wise, cutting the concrete, running the sewer pipes, more trouble
Yeah,
with the city, but
yeah.
we made it done for you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, that's with especially with the permits, right? We can find the
Yes.
shortcuts without a permit, but with permits, always we should be careful. And one more thing is like, right, whenever you're selling a house, you're spending a 50,000 also, but always make sure you are revealing or like make sure you're disclosing what you have spent on the 50,000, because you can't sell the house without any disclosing. Okay. Recently, let me give you an example, Naresh. What happened is, right, like my client had bought a house in San Jose. They bought it in end of 2023, but San Jose sent basically notice saying that in 2020 they cut the tree without mentioning it to a city. This the San Jose has the basically that they should have a two trees in the front yard. Okay, two or they have the basically in the landscaping, the city needs to have a two trees in every house or one tree in this house. Okay, so this client, whoever was selling it, they had cut in 2020 and they never disclosed. And in 2024, now in the month of April, the new owner got a notice saying that the tree has been cut in 2020 and that needs to be fixed. Like, how do they fix it? They need to pay a penalty of $2,500 and they need to put a two trees, which is like more than a 50 gallon, and they need to pay a $500 for that each tree. So that is like basically 3,500. As an homeowner, if you are not, this homeowner had known the tree was cut and he had received a notice also, but he didn't disclose it. If he had not disclosed it, the previous homeowner would be basically sued now. Okay, as a homeowners, be careful whatever you have done, even a small work, disclose it when you're selling it. That is very, very important. Listeners, if you're like basically planning to sell your house, and if you have any small questions like this, and if you basically want to add an ADUs, or if you have any questions on the remodeling, this is the time to talk about it. Give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. Naresh, go ahead. Do you have anything to share?
Yes. So yes, definitely. I would definitely agree with you. Lot of times, they do like a lot of remodeling work, a lot of garage conversions, with without proper permits, with hiring some unlicensed contractors. So that maybe, eventually they feel that they are getting some kind of benefit out of doing that. So, but in a long period of time, they will be end up paying even more. So I'm just coming out of one place, one appointment right now. As you see, I'm not at my place, I'm just in my car. So the reason for me to say is this one right now, they are ending up spending a lot more money because the foundation, what they have done, the unlicensed contractor was not good. It's not up to code. And then the wall framing was not up to code. And then the rafters they had been used is not up to code. So technically, they have to pay additional to rip off the whole structure and redo new. So if someone asked me, hey, if it is a good idea to do it, I would definitely not encourage. I would definitely say no. Even you end up spending like 10 to 20% more for the licensed contractor upfront in the beginning, but that will be, over a period of time, it will be benefited for you. The other thing what we would do, is we will help the customers to get the permit approved. We also have an in-house architect and structural engineer with us. So
Mhm.
we'll do all the designs, we'll do the structural drawings, structural calculations, Title 24 calculations, energy calculations. We will submit to the city, get the permit approved from the city, do the construction, make the process smoothly. That is the benefit of hiring a licensed contractor with your team, when
Yeah.
you're doing any kind of these projects.
Okay, let's make this show interesting now, some more, right? Like, let me share you one of the recent thing. Like, Aaron, our board up was mentioning in, he has a house right now in San Jose, but he's mentioning us that Aaron is mentioning is that like is like his wife's parents are staying with him, and
Mhm,
is like even his in-laws are coming into it, and his
mhm,
house is like 3 bed, 2 bath, 1,000 square footage. He's saying
mhm,
it's becoming too hard to get all these six people, like what, like totally six people, and you have two more kids, and totally is 8 people in the house in 1,000 square footage. And he's saying,
mhm.
Aaron is saying, like it is becoming too hard for him to stay in the house. What are the alternatives for him? Because one of the thing is like he needs to bear his in-laws. He's mentioning on that also, and is on top of it, his parents are also is coming in. So it's becoming too tight. What are the alternatives in this case? Like the family size is increasing, correct?
Mhm,
So I is having a smaller house now.
mhm,
He has a good lot of 5,000 square footage. Listeners,
mhm.
if something is resembles to you also and you want to share us, give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. Myself, Nagaraj Annaiya, the realtor. I'm talking to Naresh from NTB area. So what are the alternatives for how do we fix this, Naresh, for this?
Yeah, basically we have two options. One option is called extension. Basically, you can add additional bedrooms and bathrooms to the existing of the house. So that is number one. And then the number two option is doing an ADU. ADU meaning additional dwelling unit, which means it is an independent structure. It's on its own. So where you have a separate entrance, it's everything separate from the existing of the house. So you can build a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 1 bedroom, 1 bath studio, whatever the size of the ADU, depending upon the setback requirement. So you can definitely do it. So the benefit for that one is when you build an ADU, since it is an independent structure, you won't be in contact with the person who is living there. It is since it will be another individual unit. You will have a separate entrance. You don't have any point of contact within the ADU and then the existing house. That is number one. Number two will be, at some point, if your in-laws are not there, if their in-laws are not there, if their family is not living there, you can rent it out, you know, you can rent it out. And then the third thing is, let's say if that house doesn't work for you after the construction is done, after 5 6 years down the line, if that construction is done, if you think that house is not for you, if you want to upgrade a new home, new location, something like that, then you can definitely sell that place, because the clients will show more interest in buying that property because it has an ADU already built up there. Because the
But
previous homeowner,
tell me one thing on the ADU, right?
yes,
Like one ADU can have two kitchens or just a one kitchen is allowed as per the permit.
generally one kitchen, generally one kitchen.
So it is basically they allow up to a two bed. What's a maximum ADU size it can do? Is it 600 or
It
1,000?
depends from city to city. Some cities gives us 1,200, 1,100, and then also it also requires depends on the setback what you have, and then the requirement from the city too. Sometimes they don't want to have a build an ADU, which is much more bigger size than the existing of the house. There is some requirements. These requirements depends on city to city. Each and every city varies.
Okay. So basically the best idea for them to is like have an ADU with a two bed and one kitchen so that
Mhm.
basically their in-laws can stay. They can make it as an in-law unit, right? Like I think recent
Yes,
changes in the law has made to cities basically encouraging to more ADUs.
that's correct.
But I'm hearing one more other stories like cities are not allowing more to divide the lot. Is that correct? Like they came up with the laws, but it's becoming very hard to convince because of the neighbors to split the lots. Do you have any experience on that, Naresh?
Yeah, it is a difficult situation. I mean, difficult question to answer. The reason is it is the city's jurisdiction. If some cities, some location, even the same city, depending upon the location, some houses they let you do, some houses they don't let you do. So it all depends. For me, I don't know. I need to check with the city, depending upon the location, depending upon the school zoning, depending upon the size of the house. Yeah, all these
I think
aspects.
that's
So
very well said. I think zoning matters, right? Like if the zoning also is like Maybe if it is like historical zoning, right? Maybe they might not allow it. Maybe if it's an historical zoning, depending on which city they have, they might know, they might allow it. Based on listeners, you're listening to Nagarajan, the Bay Area realtor. I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area, and we are discussing about all about remodeling and real estate. If you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. Right now, we are live on a Bali 92.3. This numbers is only for this show. After the show, we'll give out our numbers so that you can reach out to directly after the show also. And we are and one important question, right? Like Naresh, like what I've seen is why the flipped homes? Why the flipped homes sell for more than a 300K to 500K? What are the reasons? Uh, I think maybe I can start with why I'm noticing it. One is like people wants to move in ready homes. Correct. There are some families who construction quality wise you can answer about it. And the second thing I maybe I'll answer about what are the reasons. One is the reason is like basically all the new techie people, right? They don't have enough time for them to go and spend about 6 to 8 months or in 1 year 1 year, maybe depending on what the work is done to do on the remodeling. Because some of the work, right, especially one of my client had bought it in a Beriasa, they bought it for a 1.4 million. Okay, 1.4 million, but they got it for a very good deal, the price wise. But for them to do a remodeling, it is taking them to more than a 6 to 8 months. Okay, it's more than 6 to 8 months because they're doing some structural related changes, and we know that San Jose City, especially now, right? After you apply for a permit, it is taking for a lot of time now, even for them to respond also. Correct. So that might be a timeline, might be one of the reason, and one of them is like move-in ready because they no need to go through all this hassles, right? Like to do the remodeling. So that might be one of the things. And people have a good amount of money. Some people have a good amount of money. They don't want to take any hassles around. So, but what do you basically say if somebody wants to buy a flip domes? What is your suggestions on that?
Flipped homes are always the best option. Like you said, you are 100% right. So, because you don't want to go through those hassle again, because when it goes to the city, right, city will take a lot of time. And then there are a lot of applications still pending. It is like a first in, first out case. So whoever submitted their application first, their application will be reviewed, and then it all goes, as the time, when you submitted application. So when your turn comes, it can be, couple of months. From then they'll be reviewing your application, and then sometimes it's not necessary that your application will be reviewed and then get permission right away. They might have some comments. It will be back and forth from you and versus the city. So they take their time in getting the permit approved. And then once you got it, you have to do the actual construction. When you're actually doing construction, so far it is in the papers. Right now you are implementing in real time. So in practical, not all homes, whatever you see, it's not up to code. You when you open up walls, you might end up in getting into more problematic situations. You have to fix those ones. Honestly, there is a lot more work involved. So I would
I
say,
think, see, hold on. Like one more thing is, listeners, you're listening to Nagaraj and Nair, the Bay Area Realtor. I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area. And if you have any questions on the remodeling, Bay Area real estate, because Bay Area real estate is such a craziness. And if you have any simple question also, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408-912-5038. And we are live on Bali 92.3. I think, see, one more thing is people think is like, is the laziness causes us to pay for that much for the flip domes that much? No. As you said, it's not due to a laziness. It is because of the amount of the work if somebody takes it and it needs to go through it. Correct.
yes.
Especially when you're doing with the dealing with the permits, you need to have a patience, especially. It can't be because you're dealing with some cities, like basically you need to make it right properly, means it takes a time. It can't be like quick solution for you.
But basically, Nagaraj, you put it this way: who have time? Who have time to invest that much time? Some people end up spending. I don't want to be in that situation. I rather spend more money, to get rid of that headache. That's what everybody is thinking. That's why all these apps and everything is coming. You want faster service. Good service, faster service. People are willing to spend more, right?
मुझे problem, the problem is whatever this contractors who had done the flipped homes, right, or
Uh-huh.
the the seller who has bought it and did they do the right way, right? Because some of the walls, you might think there was a wall, they did it properly with the structural related, correct? But did they do it right way? We don't know until, because as an a, it's always you buy the house as is, okay? When you buy it as an as is, if they maybe have they removed the structural wall and they didn't do it properly, right? It's always a speculation. The Bay Area is always you paying because of the location, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And aesthetically you're looking good, house is looking good, okay? You don't know inside the walls. That's as a buyer they need to be taking that risk, okay? Without the risk they can't doubt it and they can't even put the offer for them.
Yes. Also, whoever is doing that one, they need to do the proper permit process, proper inspections. You
Yeah,
know.
because even my buyers who had bought it recently, right? Like some of the homes, whichever the flipped homes, right? Some of them has the permit, some of them doesn't have the permit. Okay.
Yes.
So that is the risk always they need to take, because risk, that's the risk as a home buyer needs to take in, because they can't get the house everything in ready. Okay. Recently, yesterday, one of my client went into a contract in a townhouse in a San Ramon. It was like listed for 1.158. They were clear. Okay. 3 bed, 2 bath Nagaraj, mujhe east facing chahiye. Okay. That's it. Okay. They were clear on their goals or requirements in. Buyer came in within a 1 week, we were into in a contract. Okay. As a buyer here, they needs to be a realistic here. Okay. Realistic is like, what do I can get it? Flipped homes, yes, as I said, we might end up kind of hit and miss. Sometimes we are relying on the contractors, maybe we are relying on the seller who's doing previously has done the enough flips and he has done that. We need to do some research on the previous sellers, right?
Yes.
So based on that, we need to be going in. That's why always a flipped homes, if you like the location, if you like the play, if you like the home, just go for it and make sure the inspections are done properly. Okay, me, if you have done the inspections also, the second time inspections might not help us, because until you use the place you don't know where the plumbing leak happens.
Yes. That is true.
Okay, until you leave you don't know anything, but that's a risk you need to take as a home buyer. If you're interested to buy a flipped homes, go for it, but always be ready, because I just gave you one example in the Beriasa where it was like listed for a 1.3 million and we put an offer for 1.52, but there was a comparables for even for a 1.8 and it went for a 1.8. So as a home buyer you need to set your goals properly, like where do we need and what is the price range and what is the location do we need, can we get it for it? Okay, there is a place we can get it still. For example, one of, if you can get it even for next to a busy street, right? There are homes, Naresh, like you can get a homes or even for a 1.2 million,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but you
Yes,
need to
that's
be
correct.
getting, but you need to be getting next to a freeway, or you need to be getting as a fixer upper. You need to take it and fix it up.
Yes, yes, yes. That's why, you and me exist in the market. You as a realtor, you're helping the customer to get a right property. I'm as a contractor, I'm helping the customers to build their property nice and good way with proper permits and make them ready house move in, ready
No,
move in.
I think I have one more question to you,
Yes.
Naresh. Like, listeners, you're listening to Nagaraj on air, the Bay Area Realtor. I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area. We are discussing about remodeling, all about the remodeling and real estate, in general of a Bay Area real estate. If you're one of the buyer or a seller, if you have any questions on the real estate, or like maybe a homeowner like who wants to add some extra square footage, how do we go about it? So you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 408 912 5038. Recently, I had got a call from one of the listener and saying that Nagaraj, like I have a very good house in Mountain House, no, sorry, it's on the Mountain View, but I have a one bathroom shortage. Okay, so the bathroom shortage, like should I add it as an external or like should I as a part of the house? So how do we go about it? Like if it's a price wise isn't limited for me, if I need to add an extra bathroom, should I do it as an external or like should I do it as an inside? Should I, how do I go about it, Naresh, or add it as a garage?
Yeah, it all depends on because when you add it internal, right? So it will be taking internal space for you. So if you have that much room for you to compromise in order to accommodate a bathroom, in that space, if you have enough space, you take the chance. But that one will be less expensive because you're not doing any roof work, you're not doing any exterior walls, you have the roof, you have the walls. But the downside for that one is you're losing space, of your wherever you're taking from, living area, dining area, wherever you're taking from. But when it comes to the exterior, right, you are building, a new walls, new roof, new everything in order to accommodate your bathroom. That means the price, the first and foremost important is the price. The price is much more, it will be much more costly when you do outside like an ADU. But you're not compromising the space. Okay, you'll be having your own space, you'll be having an additional bathroom, but also the time frame, the amount of time frame that it takes for you to add outside your house is much more when compared to when you do it inside. And then also the permits wise, even the permits, it will take little more time when you try to add outside versus inside. Okay,
And
but
one more
yes,
thing is like we need to consider is the property value, right? Will the property
yes.
value changes? Yes, because you're adding an extra square footage. In general, when you're selling it, they might not consider it a per square footage, but average it out, it might bring you the value also, right, Naresh?
Yes, definitely, definitely. Because everybody wants to have an additional bathroom. That's necessity, right? So you cannot expect a three-bedroom having a one bath, right? So it's
Yeah.
good to have like two bedrooms, at least two bathrooms, right?
Yeah, thank you so much, Naresh, for joining in. You can give us your number so that your listeners wants to reach out to you after the show. It would be they can reach out to you.
Yes. Hey, 92.3 FM listeners, my name is Naresh. My company name is NT Bay Area Construction. Feel free to contact me at 510-324-6588. Thank you again. Thank you, Nagaraj.
Listeners, if you want to reach out to me, I have four listings coming up in three in a Fremont, one in a Gilroy, one in a San Jose. And if you have any questions on a buying or a selling, you can reach out to me. Easy to reach out to me is go to nagrajhomes.com, click on a WhatsApp icon, and easily you can reach out to me. Any questions on it? It might be you're in a buying right now, or maybe you're planning to buy after 6 months. Strategy is very important. And when you're selling it, disclose is very important, because I just gave you an example how the tree 4 years back they cut and they didn't disclose it. That is why working with a realtor who makes a difference is matters. Thank you so much, and you can give me a call at 858-880-4577, or you can go to nagrajhomes.com. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you, Bay Area.
Thank you.